Now let's look at how to compute mode of a given column. Unfortunately, there is no single function in base R like standard deviation, minimum, maximum, median, and things like that. So we have to construct a couple of lines of code to figure out what mode is. And we're going to use the table function for a particular column. So like Boston, let's say that we want the mode for RAD, right? So if you run a code like this, table, so you get a frequency distribution. We looked at the table line of code before. So this generates a frequency distribution, and as you see, that the most frequent value, which is what mode is that value. So we need to look at the most frequent. So the second line is the frequency. There's only one column value, and this is a named array. So the first item, the name of the item is 1, and that is frequency is 20. The name for the second number is 2, and the frequency is 24, and so on. So the name of the most frequent frequency, that is our mode. So this is what our mode is. So we need to now figure out how to write a code to extract that name of the column with the most frequent frequency value. Right? So let's put this in an object. So we'll call it BH rad frequency. Okay. So we run that. Okay, so now we have a table. Okay, so that has a column consisting of the frequencies, and for each frequency there is a name. Okay. Now we can use the which max because we want the maximum number of frequency. So if you use which max of this BH-rad frequency, so that's going to look through the column and then tell you which one is the maximum. So it says, so this is the maximum, this is the 9th value, and the name of the 9th value is 24. It doesn't give you the frequency. If you want the frequency, then you have to say, I want the frequency. Right? But we don't really care for the frequency. We want the name of that frequency, right? So we can use names. So that will give you the name. Okay, so which is 24. So that's the mode. So mode is, now you can combine these two lines of code into one line of code if you like, but it's better to split it up so we'll know what's going on. So the maximum frequency. So you notice that it puts double quotation marks around the number 24. So that's because the name is a character. Okay, even though it has a numerical value, since it is a name of an item, it is actually coded as a text. So if you want that value as a number, then you have to do as numeric. So if you go there and say as numeric, then it will convert that. Of course, this will work only if the name is a number. So then it will give you the mode as a number. But usually mode makes sense when for a factor variable or a column that has categorical values. Okay, so you would normally don't have to use the as numeric. it'll just be the names, and that will give you the mode, and then you can use that mode for whatever other purposes if you have any. Yeah. Now this is using the base or code, right? Now there is a library. Yeah, I've already installed the library, and that is called mode mode estimate. Okay. Now if you run that library, okay, so that gives you what is called MLV, most likely value. Okay, and then if you specify the rad, then so that will give you the mode. So here the mode, the MLV function automatically converts it into a number. Rad has only like 9 different values, so it's able to compute a unique mode without a whole lot of problem. But suppose if you have a numeric column like trim, right? So then there's going to be lots and lots of different values, so computing mode becomes a problem. But still, it'll give you an answer. So let's run this code, and you see it tells you 0.0955715 is the most frequent value occurring in the data set, but it gives you a warning that there are several different methods that the mode has to determining the mode of a numeric column. Numeric continuous integer or numeric column has lots of different values. So what MLV will do is it'll create bins and then use those bins to figure out which bin is the most frequent one, and within that bin it gives you the middle value or an average and things like that. So there are several different ways in which this can be achieved, and that is only for numeric variables. So numeric variables mode is really not very useful. It's useful only for factor variables or columns that has text or categorical values. So in that case, it's not going to give you a warning. It will give you the answer. I would suggest that in as much as getting the code with base or itself is pretty straightforward, that we'll use in the future when we have to use mode. This is these two, table and then names is what we will use.